Okay, so I've started recording the session. Hi, Sonam, welcome.
I
Okay, so I hope that all of you are doing the journaling prompts that I've been sending. And please, you're welcome to write your responses in the groups. And today we're going to begin by reading chapter 5. Now, given my throat and my condition today, I would request Sonali, Jagrati, and whoever else is okay to take up the reading. We can take turns to do that. I just want to do a little centering exercise that we do before we begin the session. So I'll just do that, and then maybe Sonali can start reading with chapter 5. Yeah? Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, so what I need you to do is wherever you're sitting, sit very comfortably. Take a nice deep breath. Allow your body to relax. Take several slow, easy breaths. In this book reading session, we have arrived at chapter 5 today. A lot of things came to the surface for us. We spoke about loving ourselves using the mirror. We spoke about how our limiting beliefs are holding us back in our lives. We spoke about how those beliefs came from the moment when we were little children. Bring all of that to your awareness, and whatever else you remember, you connected to yourself through this wonderful book reading session. Bring it all to your awareness at this moment, and how each page, each step, each guidance, each comment, each sharing is helping your heart open even more to this wonderful experience of reading the book together called You Can Heal Your Life. Take another deep breath, gently, easily, knowing that you're relaxed and you're safe. And it's okay for you to relax. And you're absolutely safe, divinely guided, and protected. Now, with that, bring your awareness to this time and space where you're willing to learn some more about loving yourself, where you're willing to drop all the resistance today, and when you're willing to discover even more ways to love yourself, to know yourself, and to go beyond in this healing journey. With that message, whenever you feel ready, feel the space where you're sitting and gently open your eyes and bring your awareness back to this time and space. Welcome back. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to Sonali to start reading chapter 5. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya. Good morning, everyone. Anchal, Rupa, Sonam, if you guys are comfortable, please switch on your cameras. And so I can read a few pages. Jagruti, if you can take over in between. And Rupa, Anchal, Sonam, if anybody of you wants to feel like reading, please, you can raise your hands in between and I'll be happy to, have some other people also read during the session. So let's begin. I hope you have your books with you. And we're beginning with the chapter 5. Chapter 5. What do we do now? I see my patterns and I choose to make changes. Decide to change. Throwing up our hands in horror at what we may call the mess of our lives and just giving up are the ways many people react at this point. Others get angry at themselves or at life and also give up. By giving up, I mean deciding it's all hopeless and impossible to make any changes. So why try? The rest of it goes, just stay the way you are. At least you know how to handle that pain. You don't like it, but it is familiar. And you know it, and you hope it won't get any worse. To me, habitual anger is like sitting in a corner with a dunce cap on. Does this sound familiar? Something happens and you get angry. Something else happens and you get angry again. Something else happens and you get angry again. Something else happens and once again you get angry. But you never go beyond getting angry. What good does that do? It's a foolish reaction to waste your time only getting angry. It's also a refusal to perceive life in a new and different way. It would be much more helpful to ask yourself how you are creating so many situations to get angry at. What are you believing that causes all these frustrations? What are you giving out that attracts in others the need to irritate you? Why do you believe that to get your way, you need to get angry? Whatever you give out comes back to you. The more you give out anger, the more you are creating situations for you to get angry at, like sitting in a corner with a dunce cap on, getting nowhere. Does this paragraph bring up feelings of anger? Good. It must be hitting home. This is something you could be willing to change.
Sonali, एक minute. Huh?
Yeah.
I want to take a moment and I would like to ask the group to just take a note on these reflection questions that Louise has asked in this last paragraph, where she's asking us that what are you believing that causes all these frustrations? So just bring to your awareness what are the situations in your life lately that has been causing the feeling of frustration, anger, irritation. Just make a small note of it somewhere in your journal, and then in just like take about a minute or so to make the note, and then we can continue reading. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know of a person in my life who is like angry most of the time. So I was, constantly thinking about that person and
Same with me too. I was,
mm,
I have seen a person who does the same thing.
same thing.
Every time give that anger as a reaction.
Yeah.
And I am these days like after understanding all this, why waste time? Why waste time? Let's come up
Like,
to a solution. It's what I feel.
yeah. Should I continue to read, Priya? Priya, you are on mute.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm asking, is everyone done writing? Just give me a thumbs up if you're done writing. Yeah. Okay. Sonam is done. Jyoti is done. Rupa and Anshul, you can send us emojis.
Yeah, done. I'm done.
Okay, great, great. Wonderful. Okay, I think we can go ahead then,
Yeah.
Sonali.
Make a decision to be willing to change. If you really want to know how stubborn you are, just approach the idea of being willing to change. We all want to have our lives change, to have situations become better and easier, but we don't want to have to change. We would prefer that they change. In order to have this happen, we must change inside. We must change our way of thinking, change our way of speaking, change our way of expressing ourselves. Only then will the outer changes occur. This is the next step. We are now fairly clear on what the problems are and where they come from. Now it is time to be willing to change. I have always had a streak of stubbornness within me. Even now, sometimes when I decide to make a change in my life, this stubbornness can come to the surface, and my resistance to changing my thinking is strong. I can temporarily become self righteous, angry, and withdrawn. Yes, this still goes on within me after all these years of work. It's one of my lessons. However, when this happens now, I know I'm hitting an important point of change. Every time I decide to make a change in my life to release something else, I'm going even deeper into myself to do this. Each old air must give way in order to be replaced with new thinking. Some of it is easy, and some of it is like trying to lift a boulder with a feather. The more tenaciously I hold on to an old belief when I say I want to make a change, the more I know this is an important one for me to release. It is only by learning these things that I can teach others. It is my opinion that many real good teachers do not come from joyful households where all was easy. They come from a place of much pain and suffering, and they have worked through the layers to reach the place where they can now help others to become free. Most good teachers are continually working to release even more, to remove ever deeper layers of limitation. This becomes a lifetime occupation. The main difference between the way I used to work at releasing beliefs and the way I do it today is now that I don't have to be angry at myself in order to do so. I no longer choose to believe that I am a bad person just because I find something else to change within me. Wow, this is so powerful to read. House cleaning. The mental work I do now is like cleaning a house. I go through my mental rooms and examine the thoughts and beliefs in them. Some I love, so I polish and shine them and make them even more useful. Some I notice need replacement or repair, and I get around to them as I can. Some are like yesterday's newspapers and old magazines or clothing that's no longer suitable. These I either give away or toss into the trash, and I let them be gone forever. It's not necessary for me to be angry or to feel I'm a bad person in order to do this. Exercise 1. Oh no, this is just an exercise. I thought it's exercise. So the exercise is I'm willing to change. Use this affirmation, I'm willing to change. Repeat this often. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to change. You can touch your throat as you say this. The throat is the energy center in the body where change takes place. By touching your throat, you are acknowledging you are in the process of changing. Be willing to allow the changes to happen when they come up in your life. Be aware that where you do not want to change is exactly the area where you need to change the most. I'm willing to change. The universal intelligence is always responding to your thoughts and words. Things will definitely begin to change as you make these statements.
Priya, I think.
So now we are going to do this exercise. What I need you to do is gently, as written in the exercise, put your hand on your throat and हाँ मेरे थोड़े कपड़े खोलने पड़ेंगे for that, and very gently rub your throat like you would rub or pat or touch someone you deeply love, very gently, and say these words. You can even close your eyes if it feels right. I am willing to change.
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 I am willing to
I
change.
am willing to change.
And bring to your awareness the areas in your life, the situations in your life, the people in your life where you are willing to change. in terms of your responses. Just bring all of that to your awareness. Let's do this for about 10-20 seconds. Keep telling yourself very lovingly, very gently, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to change. And once you're done with that, you can bring your awareness back to the room. And we can continue reading. And just let me know, one or two of you, how is it making you feel at the moment? कैसा लगा ये exercise करके? Just in like 1 or 2 sentences. Jyoti ji, would you like to share? How did you feel?
I have a very different understanding about this. I, I was just doing and thinking there is nothing to change. Just there is things to accept as they are and how they are. Just that I was
Wonderful.
doing.
Thank you for sharing. Sonu, would you like to share? How does this make you feel?
Actually, I was distracted a bit because I had a call in between, so I just couldn't do it just properly.
But now
Um,
it needs to be done.
yeah, yeah. I'll do this activity after the session. Like, I'll sit quiet for 5 minutes and just affirm myself with this thing
Yeah,
and
and imagine
experience it.
doing this every day for
Yes,
1 or 2 minutes, just taking out. This is the first affirmation which is being introduced to the book. Since we started reading, Louise has not suggested affirmations anywhere until chapter 5. This is the first affirmation. And the first
yes,
affirmation is not all is well, not I love you, but the first affirmation is I am willing to change.
yeah.
Uh, I just sorry to I just want to share if you can hear me with all the background sound. Initially there was little resistance, but very quickly and surprisingly, like within seconds, it was very soothing
Hmm.
and I'm actually willing to change. But initially there was resistance.
Of course, there's resistance, and we are going to be talking about that in the next chapter also, about the resistance and where it comes from. Thank you so much for sharing, Rupaji. Okay, all
And
right.
now I would like to ask one thing. Like, it's generally said that we should accept whatever we feel. Like, we should accept as we are, right? But in this, she suggested we should be willing to change. So, aren't these both things contradictory?
Um, accept the way we are, and yet
Yeah,
we are willing to change.
willing to change.
Yeah. Because see, there are a couple of things which you can't change. You can't change other people. You can't change many things, you know. The only person you can change is yourself. And as Jyoti ji said, that in the beginning she shared, that is the acceptance. So yes, first the acceptance will come, or agar acceptance nahi hai, to resistance will show up, as Rupa ji is saying, and then the willingness to change. The affirmation is not I am changing or I am change. The affirmation is I am willing to change. So that willingness is enough, and we're going to read about that now. Okay. Yes, Jagrut.
Thank you.
There is one thought here also what we can say. See, until unless we accept ourselves just the way we are, we will not see what is right or what is wrong and what is the direction where we want to change or we might need it to be changed. Looking at the situation, looking at everything, we might need to change at certain places. So until unless we accept ourselves, we cannot do that. So that is
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
more
for
clear.
sharing. Okay, Sonali, do you want to continue reading? Okay, many ways to change.
Yeah. Many ways to change. Working with my ideas is not the only way to change. There are many other methods that work quite well. In the back of the book, I have included a list of many of the ways you could approach your own growth process. Just think of a few now. There is the spiritual approach, there is the mental approach, and the physical approach. Holistic healing includes body, mind, and spirit. You can begin in any one of these areas as long as you eventually include all the areas. Some begin with the mental approach and do workshops or therapy. Some begin in the spiritual area with meditation or prayer. When you begin to clean your house, it really doesn't matter which room you start in. Just begin in the area that appeals to you most. The others will happen almost by themselves. Junk food eaters who begin on the spiritual level often find that they are drawn to nutrition. They meet a friend or find a book or go to a class that brings them to an understanding that what they put into their bodies will have a lot to do with how they feel and look. One level will always lead to another as long as there is the willingness to grow and change. I give very little nutritional advice because I have discovered that all systems work for some people. I do have a local network of good practitioners in the holistic field, and I refer clients to them when I see the necessity for nutritional knowledge. This is an area where you must find your own way or go to a specialist who can test you. Many of the books on nutrition have been written by persons who were very ill and worked out a system for their own healing. Then they wrote a book to tell everyone else the methods they used. However, everyone is not alike. For instance, the macrobiotic and the natural raw food diets are totally different approaches. The raw food people never cook anything, seldom eat bread or grains, and they are very careful not to eat fruits and vegetables at the same meal. And they never use salt. The macrobiotic people cook almost all of their food, have a different system of food combining, and use a lot of salt. Both systems work. Both systems have healed bodies, but neither system is good for everybody's body. My personal nutritional approach is simple. If it grows, eat it. If it doesn't grow, don't eat it. Be conscious of your eating. It's like paying attention to our thoughts. We also can learn to pay attention to our bodies and the signals we get when we eat in different ways. Cleaning the mental house after a lifetime of indulging in negative mental thoughts is a bit like going on a good nutritional program after a lifetime of indulging in junk foods. They both can often create healing crises. As you begin to change your physical diet, the body begins to throw off the accumulation of toxic residue, and as this happens, you can feel rather rotten for a day or two. So it is when you make a decision to change the mental thought patterns, your circumstances can begin to seem worse for a while. Recall for a moment the end of a Thanksgiving dinner. The food is eaten and it's time to clean the turkey pan. The pan is all burnt and crusty. So you put in hot water and soap and let it soak for a while. Then you begin to scrap the pan. Now you really have a mess. It looks worse than ever. But if you just keep scrubbing away, soon you will have a pan as good as new. It's the same thing with cleaning up a dried on, crusty mental pattern. When we soak it with new ideas, all the gook comes to the surface to look at. Just keep doing the new affirmations, and soon you will have totally cleared an old limitation. Let's read the next exercise, and then I think Priya can guide us. Exercises willing to change. So we have decided we are willing to change and we will use any and all methods that work for us. Let me describe one of the methods I use with myself and with others. First, go look in a mirror and say to yourself, I'm willing to change. Notice how you feel. If you are hesitant or resistant or just don't want to change, ask yourself why. What old belief are you holding on to? Please don't scold yourself. Just notice what it is. I'll bet that belief has been causing you a lot of trouble. I wonder where it came from. Do you know? Whether we know where it came from or not, let's do something to dissolve it now. Again, go to the mirror and look deep into your eyes, touch your throat, and say out loud 10 times, I'm willing to release all resistance.
Okay, so now did you get your mirrors? Okay, wonderful. So Jagrati has it. Rupa ji is out somewhere. So Rupa ji, you can just watch us do this
I'll
and
use the
perhaps
phone. I can use the phone.
do it
Camera.
in your
Phone
phone camera.
camera.
हाँ अभी के लिए
Everyone has phone now, selfies.
phone camera भी use कर सकता है. So now what I need you to do is go like it's written in the book. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, very honestly, very genuinely, ask yourself, uh, I am willing to change. And notice how you're feeling in your body. Is there a resistance? Is there a fear? What is coming up? Focus on the emotion. You may even feel a sensation in your body. Focus on that. And if that comes up, ask yourself, why? What old belief that you are still holding on to? Ask yourself that, looking in the mirror. And this is not the time to scold yourself, but to build more awareness. Just notice, what is it? And I bet that this belief has been causing a lot of trouble. And I wonder where it came from. Bring to your awareness that where is it coming from? And once that awareness has come, you can also make a note of it in your journal. Now, this is the first dissolving exercise that we are going to do in the session today. Again, pick up your mirrors. Look deep into your own eyes. And as you do, keep breathing. Okay, do not hold your breath. Keep breathing, looking into your own eyes. Once again, touch your throat like we did in the earlier exercise. Gently touch your throat and say out loud 10 times, I am willing to release all the resistance. 10 times. So I am willing to release all the resistance. Keep breathing. I'm willing to release all the resistance. Looking at yourself in the mirror, I'm willing to release all the resistance. 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 Two more times. I'm willing to release all the resistance. And one last time. I'm willing to release all the resistance. And with that, I'll finish reading the chapter, Sonali, and then I'll take them through the affirmation treatment, and then we can start chapter 6. Okay? So, mirror work is very powerful. As children, we received most of our negative messages from others looking us straight in the eye and perhaps shaking a finger at us. Whenever we look into the mirror today, most of us will say something negative to ourselves. To look yourself straight in the eye, we either criticize our looks or berate ourselves for something. To look yourself straight in the eye and make a positive declaration about yourself is, in my opinion, the quickest way to get results with an affirmation. Okay, so now you know why affirmations are so powerful. So I'm going to take you through this affirmation treatment, and then we are going to start with the next chapter. So once again, wherever you're sitting, sit comfortably, and if you like, you can close your eyes and listen to the words, pay attention, and allow the words to really sink deep into the corners of your heart and your mind. In the infinity of life, where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I now choose calmly and objectively to see my old patterns, and I'm willing to make changes. I am teachable, I can learn, I am willing to change. I choose to have fun doing this. I choose to react as though I have found a treasure when I discover something else to release. I see and feel myself changing moment by moment. Thoughts no longer have any power over me. I am the power in the world. I choose to be free. All is well in my world. So it is. Okay, that brings me to chapter 6. So, who wants to read chapter 6 now? Okay, Jagriti. Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much for taking up.
Okay, let's read chapter 6. Resistance to change. I am in the rhythm and flow of ever changing life. Awareness is the first step in healing or changing. When we have some pattern buried deeply within us, we must become aware of it in order to heal the condition. Perhaps we begin to mention the condition, to complain about it, or to see it in other people. It rises to the surface of our attention in some way, and we begin to relate to it. We often attract a teacher, a friend, a class, or a workshop, or a book to ourselves that begins to awaken new ways to approach the dissolving of the problem. My awakening began with a chance remark of a friend who had been told about a meeting. My friend did not go, but something within me responded, and I went. That little meeting was the first step on my pathway of unfoldment. I didn't recognize the significance of it until sometime later. Often, our reaction to this first stage is to think the approach is silly or that it doesn't make sense. Perhaps it seems too easy or unacceptable to our thinking. We don't want to do it. Our resistance comes up very strong. We may feel angry about the thought of doing it. Such a reaction is very good if we can understand that it is the deep first step in our healing process. I tell people that any reaction they may feel is there to show them they are already in the process of healing, even though the total healing is not yet completed. The, the truth is that the process begins the moment we begin to think about making a change. Impatience is only another form of resistance. It is resistance to learning and to changing. When we demand that it be done right now, completed at once, then we don't give ourselves time to learn the lesson involved with the problem we have created. If you want to move to another room, you have to get up and move step by step in that direction. Just sitting in your chair and demanding that you be in the other room will not work. It's the same thing. We all want our problem to be over with, but we don't want to do the small things that will add up to the solution. Now is the time to acknowledge our responsibility in having created the situation or condition. I am not talking about having guilt, nor about being a bad person for being where you are. I am saying to acknowledge the power within you that transforms our every thought into experience. In the past, we unknowingly use this thought into experience. Sorry. In the past, we unknowingly use this power to create things we did not want to experience. We were not aware of what we are doing. Now, by acknowledging our responsibility, we become aware and learn to use this power consciously in positive ways for our benefit. Often, when I suggest a solution to the client, a new way to approach a matter, or forgiving the person involved, I will see the jaw begin to clench and jut out, and arms crossed tightly over the chest. Maybe even fist will form. Resistance is coming to the fore, and I know we have hit upon exactly what needs to be done. We all have lessons to learn. The things that are so difficult for us are only the lessons we have chosen for ourselves. If things are easy for us, then they are not lessons, but they are things we already know. Lessons can be learned through awareness. If you think of the hardest thing for you to do and how much you resist it, then you are looking at your greatest lesson at the moment. Surrendering, giving up the resistance, and allowing yourselves to learn what you need to learn will make the next step even easier. Don't let your resistance stop you from making the changes. We can work on two levels. First, looking at the resistance, and second, still making the mental changes. Observe yourself, watch how you resist, and then go ahead anyway.
Yeah, just a minute, Jagrati. So Sonam, did it answer your question? That
Exactly.
these
Even
are
I
the
know the word
two
Sonam here.
things.
Yes.
One is looking at the resistance and then still making the mental changes.
Changes. Yes.
So I want you to highlight this in the book,
Yeah.
all of you. Okay, we can continue with non-verbal clues.
Right. Non-verbal clues. Our actions often show our resistance. For instance, changing the subject, leaving the room, going to the bathroom, being late, getting sick, procrastinating by doing something else, doing busy work, wasting time, looking away or out the window, flipping through a magazine, refusing to pay attention, eating, drinking, or smoking, creating or ending a relationship, creating breakdowns, cars, appliances, plumbings, etc. Assumptions. We often assume things about others to justify our resistance. We make statements such as, I wouldn't do any good anyways. My husband or wife won't understand. I would have to change my whole personality. Only crazy people go to therapist. They couldn't help me with my problem. They couldn't handle my anger. My case is different. I don't want to bother them. It will work itself out. Nobody else does it. Beliefs. We grow up with beliefs that become our resistance to changing. Some of our limiting ideas are, it's not done. It's just not right. It's not right for me to do that. That wouldn't be spiritual. Spiritual people don't get angry. Men or women just don't do that. My family never did that. Love is not for me. It's too far to drive. It's too much work. It's too expensive. It will take too long. I don't believe in it. I am not that kind of a person. Them. We give our powers to others and use that excuse as our resistance to changing. We have ideas like, God doesn't approve. I am waiting for the stars to say it's okay. This isn't the right environment. They won't let me change. I don't have the right teacher or book or class or tools. My doctor doesn't want me to. I can't give time off work. I don't want to be under their spell. It's all their fault. They have to change first. As soon as I get dash, I'll do it. You or they don't understand. I don't want to hurt them. It's against my upbringing, religion, or philosophy. Self concepts. We have ideas about ourselves that we use as limitations or resistance to changing. We are too old, too young, too fat, too thin, too short, too tall, too lazy, too strong, too weak, too dumb, too smart, too poor, too worthless, too frivolous, too serious, too stuck. Maybe it's just all too much. Delaying tactics. Our resistance often expresses itself as delaying tactics. We use excuses like, I'll do it later. I can't think right now. I don't have the time right now. It would take too much time away from my work. Yes, that's a good idea. I'll do it some other time. I have too many other things to do. I'll think about it tomorrow. As soon as I get through with XXX. As soon as I get back from this trip. This time isn't right. It's too late or it's too soon. Denial. This form of resistance shows up in denial of the need to do any changing. Things like, there is nothing wrong with me. I can't do anything about this problem. I was all right last time. What good would it do to change? If I ignore it, maybe the problem will go away. Fear. By far the biggest category of resistance is fear. Fear of the unknown. Listen to this.
एक
I
मिनट हाँ
am not
जागृति
ready yet.
5 मिनट हाँ
I
फोर
might
पीपल
fail. They
जागृति
might
जस्ट
reject me.
जागृति Just one second. I just want to take a moment and tell people who have just joined, because I can see a lot of you who have joined recently. So, we are reading chapter number 6, which is page number 54, and we are going through all the reasons of not changing. So, you can
Resistance.
resistance, yeah. So, you can go to page 54, chapter number 6. And right now, we are reading the title fear. Okay, you can continue now. Thank you.
No problem. By far, the biggest category of resistance is fear. Fear of the unknown. Listen to this. I am not ready yet. I might fail. They might reject me. What would the neighbors think? I am afraid to tell my husband or my wife. I might get hurt. I may have to change. It might cost me money. I would rather die first or get a divorce first. I don't want anyone to know I have a problem. I am afraid to express my feelings. I don't want to talk about it. I don't have the energy. Who knows where I might end up? I may lose my freedom. It's too hard to do. I don't have enough money now. I might hurt my back. I wouldn't be perfect. I might lose my friends. I don't trust anyone. It might hurt my image. I am not good enough. And on the list goes. Do you recognize some of these as the ways you resist? Look for the resistance in these examples. A client came to me because she was in a lot of pain. She had broken her back, her neck, and her knee in three separate auto accidents. Yet she was late, got lost, and then was stuck in traffic. It was easy for her to tell me all her problems, but the minute I said, "Let me talk for a moment," all sorts of turmoil began. Her contact lenses began to bother her. She wanted to sit in another chair. She had to go to the bathroom. Then her lenses had to come out. I could not keep her attention for the rest of the session. It was all resistance. She wasn't ready to let go and be healed. I discovered her sister also had broken her back twice, and so had her mother. Another client was an actor, a meme, a street performer, and quite good at it. He bragged about how clever he was at cheating others, especially institutions. He knew how to get away with almost anything, and yet he got away with nothing. He was always broke, at least a month behind in the rent, often without a telephone. His clothes were tacky, work was very sporadic. He had a lot of pains in his body, and his love life was zilch. His theory was that he couldn't stop cheating until some good came into his life. Of course, with what was giving out, no good could come into his life. He had to stop cheating first. His resistance was that he was not ready to let go of the old ways. Leave your friends alone. Too often, instead of working on our own changes, we decide which of our friends needs to change. This too is resistance. In the early days of my work, I had a client who would spend me who would send me to all her friends in the hospital. Instead of sending them flowers, she would have me go to fix up their problems. I would arrive in my with my tape recorder in hand, usually finding someone in bed who didn't know why I was there or understand what I was doing. This was before I learned never to work with anyone unless he or she requested it. Sometimes clients come to me because a friend has given them a session as a present. This usually doesn't work too well, and they seldom come back for further work. When something works well for us, we often want to share it with others, but they may not be ready to make a change at that point in time and space. It's hard enough to make changes when we want to, but to try to make someone else change when he or she doesn't want to is impossible, and it can ruin a good friendship. I push my clients because they come to me. I leave my friends alone. Mirror work. Mirror reflects back to us our feelings about ourselves. They show us clearly the areas to be changed if we want to have a joyous, fulfilling life. I ask people to look in their eyes and say something positive about themselves every time they pass a mirror. The most powerful way to do affirmations is to look in a mirror and say them out loud. You are immediately aware of the resistance and can move through it quicker. It's good to have a mirror with you as you read this book. Use it often for affirmations and to check where you are resisting and where you are open and flowing. Now, look in a mirror and say to yourself, I am willing to change. Notice how you feel. If you are resistant, or just don't want to change, ask yourself why. What old belief are you holding on to? This is not a time to scold yourself. Just notice what is going on and what belief rises to the surface. That is the one that has been causing you a lot of trouble. Can you recognize where it came from? When we do our affirmations and they don't feel right or nothing seems to happen, it's so easy to say, oh, affirmation doesn't work. It's not that the affirmation don't work. It's that we need to do another step before we begin affirmations. Priya, you want to say something here?
So, this is the exercise which we did in the last chapter also. So, I want you to just bring it to your awareness what we did with the resistance to change thing. I hope all of you made some notes with it. लिखा है आप लोगों ने अपने journal में? So, here you can look in the mirror. Just take a moment, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, I'm willing to change. Notice any resistance that comes up for you. Then ask yourself why and what is the belief that you are holding on to. And just notice what belief rises to the surface. And can you recognize where it comes from? Usually, it's like a message which you receive when you are a little child. Okay. So we are already at 12:55. After this exercise, should we do some sharing? Yeah, and then perhaps I can close the session and rest. We can read the next week. Yes, we still have like 2 to 3 pages, which are very important things that I want to discuss with you. So I don't
Exactly.
want to jump into that in hurry, but I want you to just do this exercise and
Yeah, I
first
also thought we can
identify
do
your
the
resistance.
reflections on this partner, the self concept, beliefs, what we have, no? Non-verbal clues and all those ones at least.
Yeah, so these are like this will help you understand when you are looking, because not everybody would have all of those things. But when you look into the mirror, you will know for yourself what is it that has come up. So
Hmm.
perhaps maybe one or two of you would want to share. So since Meenu's just joined, Meenu can share, and Achal, Preeti, any one of you can, Trishna, you can unmute yourself and share that when you look into the mirror and when you say that I'm willing to change, is there a resistance that has come up for anyone in the group?
Hi, Priya. Good
Hi.
afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I joined late, but I was there when Jagrati was reading all about the resistance, non-verbal cues, and all other cues. No, whenever I look in the mirror and I do self-talk, I do talk to myself a lot. Whenever I say I'm willing to change, there is no kind of resistance in my mind, no kind of resistance around me because I am actually desperately wanting to change every day, wanting to learn and grow. So I don't see any kind of resistance.
Great. Okay, so anyone for them, any resistance that has come up when you say I'm willing to change? You can unmute yourself and you can speak up.
See, for me, it is like so much I have already done. Still, I need to change. It is like it's always like we are doing, like we are changing and growing every day. Still, there is something which we need to change. इतना तो सारा कर लिया यार. फिर भी हमको ही change करना है क्या? That question keeps coming to me every time. इतना सारा एफर्ट कर लिया, ये जर्नी में भी स्टार्ट कर दिया, इतने टाइम से चेंज कर रहे हैं, फिर भी ये पॉइंट हमारी तरफ ही आ रहा है कि और चेंज करना है, और क्या करूं?
That is the resistance.
That is the resistance, exactly.
So then here Louis suggests that we ask ourselves why. Kitna, who decides?
हाँ,
Itna Sara, who decides? है ना?
yeah,
So the question here is why.
why?
So perhaps you can journal about that.
Yeah, sure, I will.
And anyone else wants to share?
I would
So,
like to share. Uh, Priya, Achal here.
Achal, hi, okay.
Hi. Okay, I'll just turn on my video. All
Thank
right. So,
you. We can see your lovely face finally.
thank you. I'm just on the move always. That's why I just came back from college. So I thought I'll turn on my video, but I was listening to the session right from the beginning. Uh, All right. So I feel that yes, there is resistance to change in me. I am very willing and open to change, and I most of the time change, but not exactly to bring some good to me, but to let the situation go calmly, whatever situation it may be. So I change, I adopt change, everything happens. But when it comes to my growth, I'm like, okay, ठीक है, अच्छा ही चल रहा है ना, रह लो. So there is a resistance that comes in. Yes.
That's a resistance. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, I would also
Thank you.
want to ask you why. Now that we have established that there is a resistance, the next question is ask yourself why. Where is it coming from? What belief are you holding on to?
Maybe it will affect the serenity in which the things are going. That is the thought. If I end up, let's say, taking too much time for myself, or if I end up taking spending a little extra for myself, or maybe giving priority to myself, the serenity that is there in the entire household may get disturbed. That is the thought that comes. It's like
Serenity
that.
according to you. But when you yourself are not peaceful and serene inside, uh, it is really not real serenity, is what I would say.
Mm, okay.
And then, can you recognize that where this belief is coming from?
Can I say something here?
Who told you, एक मिनट जागृति, who told you this कि अगर मैं कुछ कर दूंगी गड़बड़ तो पूरा घर बिखर जाएगा, लेकिन तो मुझे बोलना नहीं चाहिए, इससे अच्छा तो मैं चुप रहूं.
I don't know. There's maybe situations which have happened that stays at all. I do not feel that belief is there, but then yes, there is something that I see in daily life. That's how it is. Not very things do not happen frequently, but then whenever they happen, you notice that okay, here you have to just adjust quietly. So that's better that way. It's just like that. No strong belief as such.
I want you to explore this little more,
Sure.
and I want you to journal about it,
Okay.
because I think we are getting somewhere with this. You know, I don't want to make it into a coaching session, but as
Mm-hmm.
since you're a participant in the book reading session, I want you to journal more about it and think of this thought that if I say something and things can get out of hand, and this whole peace and calm and serenity, whatever you're talking about, you will interfere in that. I need you to journal about it. Okay.
Okay, I'll do that.
And we will
Immediately.
look at that in the next session.
Sure,
Please,
sure.
please come for the next session so that we can talk.
I will, I will, I will
Thank you
join
so much.
definitely.
Jagriti, there is Purva who's raised her hand, and also Meenu wants to say something. So I'll just go to Purva first, okay? Then I'll come to you. Okay, Purva, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Hello, Priya ma'am. Hello,
And
everybody.
yes, you want to say something?
या मैंने जब मिरर के सामने देखा तो मतलब मुझे ये तो था कि आई एम विलिंग टू चेंज बट समहाउ मतलब मुझे कुछ भी चेंज करना होता है तो मेरे सामने सबसे पहले रिलेशंस आ जाते हैं मतलब जो अभी आपने बोला ना कि मतलब मैं ऐसा करूंगी तो फैमिली में ऐसा कुछ हो जाएगा या बवाल मच जाएगा या ये वाला पर्टिकुलर रिलेशन में मेरे इफेक्ट पड़ेगा तो बस मुझे वही सोचकर अरे भाई ठीक है जो चल रहा है ऐसे ही रहने दो
Hmm.
ये रेजिस्टेंस सामने आता है वरना अदरवाइज आई एम विलिंग टू चेंज
Thank you so much for sharing. I just love your expressions. You're saying, matlab. And you know, Purva and Achal, I'm so grateful to both of you because you have like spoken up for the for a lot of women. You know, I know that a lot of women see through things. We are smarter beings. We are intuitive ones. You know, we see through things. We see all the bullshit men throw at us, you know, all the time. And yet, we decide, we choose to keep quiet.
या
Now, when we say things, and I also say this thing to a lot of people, that women don't have problem in speaking up. Women have problem in being heard. When we speak up, the other person may or may not hear us or just ignore कि बस ये तो बोलती रहती है क्या है, you know, like that. So at that point in time, your relationship with yourself is what comes into the picture, is what I would say. You know, if you have a strong bond with yourself, you would know, babe, you're safe. It's okay for you to express. It's okay for you to speak up. वो आगे वाले को क्या करना है अभी, वो तो उसकी जर्नी है ना, वो तो वही जानेगा या जानेंगे. लेकिन आपको जो करना है, आपने तो अपना अकाउंट क्लियर किया ना, एंड दैट्स व्हाट मैटर्स. You know, and sometimes you don't even have to go out there and speak up like in front of the person. Sometimes speaking up to yourself in the mirror is enough. And I have been in situations in my life where I have not gone in front of that person. Sometimes that person is not even alive, you know, but I have spoken up in front of the mirror. क्योंकि आपको जो रिश्ता है वो खुद का खुद से है, बाहर वालों से तो बाद में है, वो तो दैट कम्स लेटर. फर्स्ट, and then in the next chapter we are next title we are going to read about the need. This is very important to understand the need. What is the need for you to speak up? You know, कि ये बोलना चाहिए या क्यों बोलना, मुझे बोलना क्यों है. why this needs to be, spoken up. So that's the thing. Okay. Did I give you
Yeah.
some clarity, Anchal and
Yeah.
both?
Yes. Yes.
Thank,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
thank you. Okay, Meenuji, Jagruti, I'll come to you first and then Meenuji.
See, basically, Priya, for me, it was like always I speak up my mind very freely, no matter what the other person takes it. But then I have realized it with time that, okay, upbringing matters. The way we think, like, it's not my upbringing to shout or speak louder or thing. But still, at the same time, I believe in keeping my opinion very clear in front of everyone, saying, okay, this is the way I look at it. Whether you want to take it or you don't, that's your choice. But yeah, in a lot of cases, what I see here is we resist, we hold back to express our.
Sorry, I think there's a connection loss somewhere.
You're able to hear me now?
Yes, yes, now.
So for me, it was like the upbringing wala part that keeps coming every time when I look into mirror and when I say that why, when you said why, think about it as why and journal it. Like, why do I need to change? Okay, I have changed so much, but still, because my upbringing says very clearly to me, like, okay, no, I have to grow. I have to grow to this place, or I need a serene atmosphere in wherever I stay, wherever I'm living, but at least a clear atmosphere wherein I can speak myself, speak my thoughts out, and the other person, whether he or she is receivable or not, at least make things comfortable for them.
Yeah.
So that is when we stop and speak, or sometimes we don't even speak and just express ourselves, write it out, or just speak it in front of mirror and just let it go.
Yes. And you'll realize that once you've done that now, either writing about it or speaking to yourself in the mirror, you will release the
Hmm.
need to be heard, the need to be seen, all of that. And that's what we are going to read next. Okay, so Meenuji, I'm coming to you last, and then I think we'll close the session. It's already 1:10.
Okay, I just wanted to add to what Achal had said. I think Achal started first. It was about all about the resistance to change when we're talking in front of the mirror, we're doing some self-talk. And what is the resistance that come up? Yeah, actually, I've seen while talking to many people, or I've experienced this also. Uh, People have one main resistance to change themselves. Environmental factors become a block. When we're looking at the relationships, at the people we are surrounded with, we're talking about the family. So when we are taking care of other people's emotions, yes, there is a resistance to change ourselves. This is, I think, majorly most of us would be experiencing it. You want to change, but looking at your family scenario, looking at the people around you, you may have that resistance to change. So when she was saying, I just wanted to add that environmental factors become a block. They come as a resistance. Ispe, if you want to say something, how to, cope up with the situation, if you can give some tips about it.
See, Louise has also written them. So that is also a resistance. So
Okay.
what is written in the book, you are just reinforcing that. So it is also a big resistance to change. Other
Okay.
people, the environmental factor, anyway, they are very secondary, you know.
Okay.
So that's again the resistance. But since the resistance has come up, the question, the why, is very important. Why? And then to recognize, that's why I asked Anshul to journal about it, to recognize that resistance and where is it coming from. So I think I'll also post some journaling questions for you this week going forward, and
Uh,
please attempt.
yeah,
अगर नहीं भी हो पा रहा है तो
definitely.
at least attempt. You'll
And
get
I
somewhere.
think to move ahead, I think this is for everyone, for all of us. We have to make a stronger relationship with ourselves first, then with others.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for reinforcing
Thank
that.
you.
So,
Thank you.
on that note, I'm going to close the session. What I need you to do is continue with your mirror practice. Number one, continue with the I'm willing to change affirmation. If possible, touch your throat and keep doing this at least 20 to 30 seconds every day. And whatever that resistance is coming up, ask why, the whys of the resistance. Okay, and journal about it. तो ये आपका इस वीक का असाइनमेंट हो गया. We can reinforce it in the group also. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. I'm going to close the session here, and then from next time we're going to start with chapter page 57.
Page 57, repeated
Repeated
patterns show
pattern
up our needs.
show us our needs. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks,
great
Thank
Sutana.
weekend.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for your
Thank you.
gratitude. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Sutana, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.